So now we're going to talk about choosing the best website platform. So obviously there's a lot that goes into this. And one thing I want to say right away is your platform is not what's going to book you weddings. Photographers often spend months rebuilding their website thinking a different platform will fix their inquiries. It won't. Your messaging, positioning, and client experience are ultimately what converts visitors into inquiries. That said, your platform still matters because it affects how easy it is to maintain your website and optimize it over time. So the first thing you need to look for when looking at website platforms is, does it offer SEO optimization features? The reason why this is important is because SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, is how people can find your website through organic search, oftentimes through Google or through AI, things like that. And so having the tools to do that is really important. So basically, what type of features you're going to want is they need to be able to allow you to customize page titles, meta descriptions, URLs, image alt text, and headings. And these elements help search engines understand what your website is about and determine where you appear in search results. And so if SEO matters to you, which it should, your platform needs to support it. The next is quality design. So obviously, wedding photography is a very visual industry, and your website needs to display your work beautifully and give you enough control to reflect your brand and style. So you want something that allows you to create a clean, elevated experience for your visitors. Next is blog capabilities. So blogging is one of the most effective long-term marketing strategies for photographers. It kind of goes alongside with SEO, but essentially your platform should make blogging easy and SEO friendly. So being able to publish venue features, real weddings, helpful resources, that ultimately will drive traffic to your website. And so having those blogs available is super, super important. The fourth is mobile design editing. So more than half of your visitors will view your website on their mobile phone. And so your website needs to look great on mobile. And ideally, your platform allows you to customize the mobile design rather than relying on automatic formatting. The fifth is own your domain. So always own your domain. Your website should be yourbrand.com, not a subdomain like .wix or .squarespace or whatever. And ultimately, you don't want that. You want to own your domain. You want to have it very clean, www.yourbrand.com. And so purchasing that, being able to utilize that, that is very important to look for, especially for search optimization, as well as just your client experience. People are going to see that, and that just gives you credibility right off the bat. And number 6 is you want a website platform that is easy to use. At the end of the day, you need to choose something that works for you. So if it's way too confusing or if it's not easy for you to maintain and update, that's going to be a huge problem. And so you need to choose a platform that's easy to use and that you enjoy utilizing. So there are a lot of website options out there. The two that I find are the most common and that check all of the essential boxes are both Showit and Squarespace. Now, there are going to be some differences, and ultimately what you decide is totally up to you. And these aren't the only options out there. These are just the ones that I find are very popular and also just check all those boxes, especially just in terms of being able to blog and SEO and all of that. So ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do, but I'm just going to talk through a little bit about how they compare. So we'll just talk through the pros and cons of each. First, let's talk about the pros of using Showit. So they have full design freedom. So Showit basically works like a drag and drop design canvas, which means you can place elements exactly where you want them. This gives you a lot of creative control over the look of your website. It also has a separate mobile design control. So one of Showit's biggest advantages is that you can design the mobile version of your website independently from the desktop version. This allows you to create a better mobile experience. Another pro of utilizing Showit is they have a lot of templates. So whether you're paying for templates or if you want to use some of their free ones, there's a lot of really great options. And you can always start with a template and customize from there until you're ready to make a purchase. But honestly, right from the beginning, there's just a lot of really great templates available to you. Next, they also offer WordPress blogging integration. So basically, it is like the tool, the powerhouse of the internet. Blogging with WordPress is one of the most powerful tools you can use, and it gives you so much for like SEO optimization and different plugins that you can use. And so it's really, really, really powerful, and I highly recommend it, especially from just an SEO standpoint. And then another great thing about Showit, it's just so great for highly customized websites because of just the features and the drag and drop and how much you can do without needing to code. You can customize it. And even if you're starting from a template, the customizations you can do are just endless, and it makes it really, really stand out. So while I love Show It and it's one of the most powerful tools out there, it is going to have a slightly steeper learning curve. And so that's just something to keep in mind, is just like knowing that you're going to have to spend time learning. They do have a lot of tutorials and their chat is very available and willing to help you whenever you need it, but it is going to be something you're going to have to learn. And I will say too, some people find that because there's so much customization you can do, it can be really overwhelming and you can have decision fatigue. So if you're someone who's just like, I just want my one option and I don't need it to look highly customized or anything like that, then maybe Squarespace might be a better option. Also, with that, you need to be willing to put in the work to optimize your blog and actually learn WordPress. It's not a whole lot to learn, but there is just like a separate platform that you're powering the back end of your website through. And so those two things together is what's powering your website. So you need to be willing to put in the extra work just to like make sure you learn and understand that as well, along with Show It. So next, let's talk about Squarespace. Some of the benefits are it's very beginner friendly and easy to manage. So right from the beginning, because it's less customizable, it's kind of like plug and play. You kind of like add your images and everything is kind of going alongside that. And they have some easy templates that you can have as well. And so there's a lot just from the get-go. You can get it set up a lot faster and you don't need to spend as much time learning the platform. You can just kind of hit the ground running and go, which is awesome. But with that comes some cons. So with that, you're going to have less design flexibility. And so it's going to be a lot harder to make your website stand out when you're using Squarespace. And with that too, you're going to have a lot limited ability to customize the mobile side of things too. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind. And their blog is good, but it's not as powerful as WordPress. And so long term, I would say that Show It definitely outbeats that just with their capability with their advanced blog. And you can always like upgrade to that. And so with Squarespace, like while the blog is something that is kind of featured within Squarespace and it is a lot easier to use, it's going to be a little bit more limited in terms of reach and SEO customization. So it's not to say you can't, but if you want the most powerful tool, I would say Show It is kind of that option. Now, both allow you to build a beautiful website optimized for SEO. They both can have blogs where you can blog regularly. You can also use your own domain, and they both create a professional client experience. However, after using both and working with many photographers, I personally recommend Show It for photographers who want the most flexibility and long-term SEO potential. If you're just getting started and want the most flexibility long-term, I recommend Show It. The design freedom, mobile control, WordPress blogging integration make it really strong for photographers. And honestly, it just can grow with you as your business grows. They also have a really strong support chat. So even though there is a little bit more of a learning curve, you can definitely utilize them. And they are so helpful. I could tell you I've had many chats with them, especially when I was just getting set up and learning the platform myself. And honestly, too, if you are unsure which platform to use, I recommend doing a free trial. I do have a link where you can try Show It for free, and you also get a discount on your first year if you want to do that. You can also head over to Squarespace, do a free trial with them, and just see which one feels better for you. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong, but in terms of what I use and how I teach, I will say Show It is just a strong front runner. And ultimately, since the two of them cost pretty similarly, that's why I just recommend Show It, because I just think it's a lot more powerful. And for the long term, I think it's worth investing in learning how to use. So I know that's a lot to process. And ultimately, whatever website platform you decide to use, just know this too. You can always switch later. It's not something that you're married to. I started on Squarespace and switched to Show It, and that was totally fine. And ultimately, what you want to do as you're building your business is if you have no website at all, do what makes sense for you. If you don't want to have to switch it later and you just want to start with Show It and that feels good and you do the trial and all of that, go for it. If you're on Squarespace and you love it and you don't want to switch, by all means, that's totally fine. If you are just trying to build something and want to switch over later when you have more investments you can make into that, that's also fine. Like ultimately, at the end of the day, having a website is what matters most. And looking for these features is what I would recommend. But again, you are the CEO of your business. You are allowed to make the decisions that work best for you. These are just my recommendations. And so, with that, do what makes the most sense for you. And we'll see you in the next module.